What is up, my fellow bro gamers? Mr. J313 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new and improved Remnant Warfighter Salarian Architect. So if any of you guys saw my first Salarian Architect build guide, you could tell that the Remnant VI was an utter piece of shit. So now I have the the Salarian Architect 6. And on this build guide, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be focusing on the Remnant VI now that it has been buffed. So for weapons, I'm going to be using the Widow X and the Vanquisher 6. Obviously use whichever you have, but this is my preference and playstyle for it. Is a twin sniper build with thermal clip storage on your equipment. And honestly, it worked pretty damn well. So for mods, you're going to want to use damage mod or scopes. That is typically what I was running with this build, and it worked pretty effectively. So you can also, if you don't ever have a problem with ammo, I would say maybe Gorilla upgrade for the extra 10% damage on snipers. You could also run the shield enhancer for a little bit extra shields, but I mean, if you're staying away and actually playing as a sniper with this build, you shouldn't really have any other troubles. That's why I personally chose the thermal clip storage, simply because I kinda, in some instances, find ammo being a problem, especially when you're using two snipers trying to drop all of the enemies. You're gonna run into a problem. So going back, the engineering kit, don't run it. The extra 30% tech power damage will not affect the Remnant VI. It does not affect Assault Turret. It does not affect Remnant VI. There is no point in running the engineering kit unless you want extra damage on Incinerate. But if you do, you probably do not know how to play Mass Effect Andromeda. So that would be completely pointless on this build. So let's move on. Thermal clip storage for this build. Obviously, you can do it a little bit different, but because this is more of a power base, but for weapons I chose twin snipers, and it worked pretty well, and it was really fun whenever I did it. So Widow X with the barrel and the scope mod pumping out, I used that for all of my larger enemies, dealing massive damage with that rifle. And then on my secondary, I'm going to be running the Vanquisher. Now you can run extra ammo, like if you really have an ammo problem, but I mean, honestly, I don't know. If you're not a fan of the twin snipers, you could definitely run a pistol if you want. Really, honestly, any pistol will work with whichever sniper. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be using your sniper most of the time anyways. So it is what it is. Play to your preference with it, unless you really just want to stick with my build, because I honestly had a lot of fun with twin snipers, and definitely you should give it a try, because it was really interesting. But it was kind of shitty because my first map playing it was probably the worst map possible for this build. So moving on to consumables, you're going to want to use targeting VIs, sniper rifle, rail amps, ammo type boosters. Those are going to be your three main ones. Really, any of those three will work. It doesn't really matter which ones, just use one of those three. When it comes to ammo, if you're fighting a specific enemy, obviously use the ammo that would work for them. So let's move on to skills. Now, I said this is a main Remnant VI focused build. Now, since it has been buffed, it is so much better now. So first three, bottom, top, top. Now, for 4, I always choose recharge speed, and I'm going to go over this even more in the gameplay, because expedited repairs, while it sounds nice and is very good, it's basically useless right now, because the Remnant VI is still so glitchy and bugged out that half the time when you spawn it, it will do nothing. So half the time you're going to have to destroy him and bring him back out. Or if he gets destroyed, you'll have a faster recharge speed for it. So I would choose recharge speed on that. Now, with rank 5, it's a tough one. It depends on if you want damage or more health. Personally, I think damage, because it'll stack up a little bit more, and that's really how I see him. You know, he has 1320 health as I have him in this build guide. That's quite a bit. I mean, he won't get destroyed pretty fast. I mean, he'll be able to go out and do quite a bit, and obviously run the missile. The electric beam is good, but it really just depends on if you want to detonate or prime. And honestly, for this build and in my playstyle, I would rather him detonate, because now doing 450 damage every 5 seconds, the missile is amazing. Pre-patch 1.06, 100 damage every 10 seconds. I don't know what the fuck BioWare was thinking. That's just atrocious. It was trash. That's why I slammed this build, or not this build, but this character so much in my previous build, and why I completely threw the Remnant VI out the window and just made it all about Barricade. Honestly, he wasn't even worth getting, but now, since he has been buffed so heavily, he is definitely worth getting. Still, while he is not one of my favorite, maybe if I play him a little bit more, try using Electric Beam and some other combos with Incinerate being a detonator, I might have a little bit more fun with him down the road. But as it is right now, he is a very good, viable operator who has a lot of things about him that can be good for a team, especially if you match him as a sniper build, using the Remnant VI defensively or aggressively, sending him out to the other side of the field. He has a lot of utility as a all-around operator. So Barricade, it's worthless for this build pretty much. Just put the extra skill point in it. So let's move on to Incinerate. On Incinerate, I went first 3, bottom, top. And I didn't have the skill points to put into 6. So on rank 4, I went with bottom because I personally preferred the damage over time and the duration for it, just because I feel like it's a little bit better than the extra splash damage, because I tend to throw it on one target who's alone, so the extra radius won't really help me. I mean, if you're the opposite, I guess you could use it. Now on rank 5, I went with the initial damage, the impact, simply because I would prefer the all-around damage to all targets and the immediate impact of it, and I just kind of feel like that's better. Honestly, if you're going to be using it against more armor targets, though, you could use anti-armor. That's really just personal preference. Either one, it won't hurt the build if you pick the other one. So, you know, Detonator for Incinerate would be good if you had the skill points for it. I may try and mess with the build a little and see what I get out of it, and I may update you guys in the comments down below, but for now, I couldn't get Detonator on Incinerate. But if I was going to run it, then I would let the Remnant VI run Electrifying Beam over missiles. But since I typically run ammo mods, then missiles are perfect because I can prime and he can detonate. So on offensive tech, you're going to go first 3, bottom, bottom, bottom. Now on 4, it was pretty simple because the power damage will not help the Remnant VI, but the combo damage definitely will, so I needed that. Now rank 5, total personal preference, either way won't hurt. Rank 6, definitely you're going to want bottom simply because of the 50% weight addition, so that's going to help you carry both snipers. So on support systems, you're going to go first 3, bottom, and then top. You don't have to worry about rank 6 on it, it's not really going to help. So on rank 4 for bottom, it was, you could, I mean, Incinerate, duration, you know, I don't know. You need it. You need rank 5 simply because of tech construction for extra health and shields for you, plus giving extra health to your Remnant VI. And, you know, the tactical revive might be handy, but I would personally prefer the extra shields and health all around for myself and the Remnant VI, so rank 6 wouldn't really help with this build. So that's really all I have on the skills. This is more of a longer video, so guys, let's go ahead and jump right into some gameplay, and I'm going to continue talking and letting you guys see the ins and outs of this build versus the old build. Alright guys, so kicking off the gameplay here real quick before I get into any more details about this build, I want to give a quick shout out to our subscriber, Adam Poynton, who jumped in the game with me while I was recording this footage. We had a great time, really couple of great games. It was a lot of fun, man. We'll have to do it again sometime soon. And guys, any of you subscribers that are on Xbox One, I would definitely be down to play and record with you guys while I'm getting these build guides done and any other footage, or just playing a game any other time. And also another thing, I'm going to have to kind of work on my capture card, because for some reason it is not recording team chat audio anymore. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with it. My Elgato just said, hey, fuck you and your happy times. So I'm gonna have to try and work with that before I start recording with you guys more, because I think it would be kind of funny after these games. A lot of funny moments happen, and I would kind of like to make a little like funny moments of Mass Effect video and see how you guys like that. You know, if you're interested and you're a fan of Rainbow Six Siege, definitely go check out our Rainbow Six Siege Prepare to Laugh edition video. I will have a link down in the description to that video if you're interested. Go and check that out. I might be interested in doing something like that for Mass Effect. So just let me know what you guys think of that. So let's get back to the build. So twin snipers build, you're using a Widow and a Vanquisher. I know it's kind of weird. So I know some of you have asked me this, my opinions on the Widow, my thoughts on the Black Widow. Well, here I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I always say are the 4 core snipers. So the 4 core snipers are going to be the Widow, the Black Widow, the Vanquisher, and the Ashare. Now, breaking it down, obviously the Widow and the Vanquisher are my favorite. So the Widow and the Ashare are basically the same, and the Black Widow and the Vanquisher are basically the same. Only, in my opinion, the Black Widow and the Ashare are the 2 shittier versions. Now, I haven't played with the Ashare that much when I compare it to the Widow, so I may have to go back and play with it a little bit more and make that opinion again. But I will honestly say this right now, if I was comparing the Vanquisher and the Black Widow, the Vanquisher would win hands down every time. Why? The Black Widow is a weight 55 for 1. 2, it has 1 less round and only slightly higher damage. Now, while the extra round is the biggest problem, because the slightly higher damage does not beat out the extra damage that the Vanquisher will have because of its extra round. I don't know the exact number on how much extra damage the Vanquisher will have over the Black Widow, but doing the math real quick, as I can remember in my head, the Black Widow does in the 800s, so 8 times 3, it's going to be dealing 2400 damage out of the 3 shots it has. The Vanquisher does in the 700s, and it has 4 shots. So it is going to be doing slightly higher damage. Not by much, but honestly, when you compare the accuracy, the having just 1 more round, and then the weight is the biggest deal for me. Now, I know you can put the lightweight material mods on them, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Black Widow because I think it fires us slightly slower. So, you know, Widow and Vanquisher are going to be my hands down 2 top snipers. When it comes to the heavier damage, single shot or semi-auto, now there are other good semi-auto and then even automatic ones, but I don't know how I would feel about them for this build, because I don't really want to say they're snipers. They're more DMRs in a sense, so I don't know. And this right here, guys, this is something that I kind of thought about as a funny moment. I didn't even hear that Hydra, honestly. I ran away and I'm hiding. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do here? Let's just do a little bit of damage. I get out of my scope because I hear something. I turn, there's a pariah, a sharpshooter, and another sharpshooter, and they just walk right past me, and I'm freaking the hell out. And I'm talking at him like, dude, I don't know what just happened, but everything is sneaking up on me, and I don't know why. But it was a crazy fun time, and I would really like to get some more subscribers in just to have those kind of funny moments, and I'm really wanting to get my Elgato fixed to where I can record team chat again. I've heard some people saying that if you're using Skype, could be a good fix for it, but I have not actually tried it yet. So I'm definitely going to be trying some fixes and just trying to get that to work again, because I definitely want to do some more recording with you guys and having some funny moments. So let's jump back to the build. I know I'm digressing some, but there's actually a lot that I want to try and talk about in this video because I have a lot of videos I'm coming out with right now for you guys. So let's talk about the Remnant VI. Now, pre-patch 1.06, before BioWare finally decided that it's time that we buff pretty much all of the powers and combo damage because everyone is complaining about it and we fucked up. So now that he has been buffed, the Remnant VI was buffed, he's actually usable now. If you guys are coming from my old Salarian Architect build guide, I named it the Bouncer build guide. It had nothing to do with the Remnant VI, which is what this Salarian Architect is about. And it was so underwhelming and disappointing that I honestly would have wished I had never got him whenever I got him, because he was so worthless. He was so incredibly worthless, because whenever I look at a character on this game, all of the characters have something special about them, and the Salarian Architect had nothing special about him. Because the Remnant VI was so unusable, what was the point in playing him? I mean, there was nothing else special about him. The Remnant VI had a 500 health at base level. He had 100 damage per second that you could only get up to around 170, and half the time when he was firing, he would just stop firing. It wasn't that he was firing too long, he would just stop. That was one bug with him that is actually still in the game. I've noticed it a little bit. I actually just noticed it there. I think he's supposed to fire for the same amount of time an observer is, which I believe now is 6 seconds. But I've noticed sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not really sure what his problem is, but now his health is, it started out a lot higher, or you could at least get it higher. He's at 1320 for me right now with 270 damage per second. His missile was horrendous with 100 damage every 10 seconds. And I mean, that's not even worth using. I mean, come on, BioWare, throw us a bone. I mean, now it's 450 every 5 seconds, and that's usable. That's actually pretty damn good. I mean, my only problem with the missile is every 5 seconds he will shoot it. You can't tell him to save it and shoot it at a certain target. So that's kind of a problem whenever you're trying to detonate combos, which I can see the appeal of using the electrifying beam and using Incinerate as a detonator, simply because he's kind of uncontrollable, and in the aspect that he is still a little buggy, you know, I could definitely see it, and I may try it, and if I get better results using the electrifying beam and Incinerate as a combo, I will let you guys know. But personally, I honestly love the missile simply because it does 450 every 5 seconds. And I think that's pretty helpful, because in a lot of situations where I actually prime something, he would instantly kill it with that missile. And I just thought that was really awesome. So with his buff, he is definitely a very good character to use now. I had a ton of fun playing him. And if you guys are a fan of the Salarian Architect, definitely give this build a try, because it is honestly a lot of fun using twin snipers and having your Remnant VI run around and blow stuff up whenever you prime it. So definitely give it a try. So guys, let's go off topic real quick from the build and talk about a few other things. So first on the list of a few things that I wanted to discuss, we're getting down to the end of the video. I wanted to talk about a few other videos I'm doing. So after this one, the previous video was the X5 Ghost Assault Rifle little mini review. After this video, I'm going to be working on a level 1 human soldier gameplay video that I had on Gold. It was my first game with that human soldier, and I actually had a ton of fun doing it. I had actually never played the human soldier before, simply because I was always a biotic fan, so I instantly jumped to an adept, and then started getting more biotics, then went Vanguard. But going back to a human soldier and playing it, I noticed that the movement just felt so fluid, and having the X5 Ghost Assault Rifle, it was so nice and refreshing. It was honestly really intense. So I'm going to come out with that gameplay video, as well as a build guide later on down the road if that video does well, as well as the Turian Agent. I found 3 play styles that work very well for him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out with a slightly longer, more of an overview to look over all of the playstyles that I found to work with him. And if you guys enjoy that video and want me to do a breakdown build guide, I will do a build guide for each of the playstyles. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe as well, because we're putting videos out every Monday and Friday, as well as just like this week. Sometimes our weeks are filled with content, so we'll always bring you back for more. So guys, road to 100. We're almost at 100 subs. Podcast at 100 subs with a surprise announcement at that time. So guys, that's all I have for you on this one. This has been Mr. J313, and I will see you on the next one.